Atoms. What could this hilly blue surface be? Do you have any idea? The answer is a single atom of the element cobalt. The picture was created using a scanning tunnel microscope. No other microscope can make images of things as small as atoms. So how small are atoms? Well, you will find out in this lesson. What are atoms? Atoms are the building blocks of matter. They are the smallest particles of an element that still have the element's properties. Elements, in turn, are pure substances, such as nickel, hydrogen, and helium, that make up all kinds of matter. All of the atoms of a given element are identical in that they have the same number of protons. They are also different from the atoms of all other elements, as atoms of different elements have different numbers of protons. Size of atoms. Unlike bricks, atoms are extremely small. The radius of an atom is well under 1 nanometer, which is 1/1000th of a meter. If a size that small is hard to imagine, consider this. Trillions of atoms would fit inside the period at the end of this sentence. Although all atoms are very small, elements vary in size in their atoms. The figure here compares the sizes of atoms of more than 40 different elements. The elements in the figure are represented by chemical symbols, such as H for hydrogen, He for helium. Of course, real atoms are much smaller than the circles representing them here. Question: which element in this figure has the biggest atoms? Well, you should have answered the element in the figure with the biggest atom is cesium, or Cs. Subatomic particles. Although atoms are very teeny, they consist of even smaller particles. Three main types of particles that make up all atoms are protons, which have a positive electric charge, electrons, which have a negative electric charge, and neutrons, which are neutral in charge. The model in this figure shows how these particles are arranged in an atom. The particular atom represented by the model is helium, but the particles of all atoms are arranged in a similar way. At the center of the atom is a dense area called the nucleus, where the protons and neutrons are clustered closely together. The electrons constantly move around the nucleus. Helium has 2 protons and 2 neutrons in its nucleus, and 2 electrons moving around the nucleus. Atoms of other elements have different numbers of subatomic particles, but the number of protons always equals the number of electrons for neutral atoms. This makes atoms neutral in charge because their positive and negative charges cancel each other out or balance out. Question: lithium has 3 protons, 4 neutrons, and 3 electrons. If you were going to draw a model, where would each be located? So hopefully you have described a sketch that looks something like this. The 3 protons will be in the nucleus along with the 4 neutrons, and the 3 electrons would be moving around the nucleus. Question: all atoms of carbon have 6 protons, so how many electrons do carbon atoms have? Well, hopefully you came up with the answer. Carbon atoms have to have 6 electrons to cancel out the positive charges of 6 protons. That's because atoms are always neutral in electric charge. Summary: atoms are the building blocks of matter. They are the smallest particles of an element that still have the element's properties. All atoms are very small, but atoms of different elements will vary in size. 3 main types of particles that make up atoms are protons, neutrons, and electrons.